It's officially official. Josh McDaniels, you are a New England Patriot again. They have recently just hired Josh McDaniels as the 2025 offensive coordinator for Drake Maye, Mike Vrabel, and the Patriots moving forward. In case you guys didn't know, McDaniels has already been the OC for several years for New England, but he branched off to try and become a head coach. That failed. But as an OC, he did win numerous Super Bowls. He led Tom Brady to become one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Correction, the greatest quarterback of all time. I can't say that I'm surprised by this move. He was the favorite ever since Alex Van Pelt was fired as the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, and I think that now they've hired Mike Vrabel, they are going in a better direction, hopefully a winning direction, and I do think that Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels can get the New England Patriots there. So before I hop into the latest details of this recent hiring, let me go on ahead and ask you guys this question. Give me your one-word reaction to Josh McDaniels' recent hiring as the new OC. My one-word reaction? Throwback. We're just going to bring back the past success that New England has had, but I do want to make sure McDaniels doesn't try to recreate something that isn't in New England anymore. Tom Brady, gone. Belichick, gone. Edelman, Gronk, all of those players are gone. This is a future, and I do think that McDaniels is the right choice for this position moving forward. And here is the latest report coming from Ian Rappaport. Well, he also used the same word I did. Throwback. The Patriots are expected to hire Josh McDaniels to be their OC, sources say. His third stint in this role. He has been off and on in the Patriots personnel since 2001. I mean, I was 2 years old. All right, not to make anybody feel old out there, but, just saying. The favorite all along. He interviewed today and solidified his standing. Now he'll join Mike Vrabel's staff and work with Drake Maye. That's what I'm super excited about here, is the fact that McDaniels is going to have the opportunity to turn this offense around, because we saw last year that that Maye is going to be our guy moving forward. Unfortunately, he just didn't have any top targets or really any targets to really try and get him to have some sort of success this last season. Now with having Josh and Mike in the system, I do think we can now up our offense and possibly bring in new targets in free agency, the draft, and possibly a trade. Because what AVP did, he kind of was dealt the same hand as Gerard Mayo and DeMarcus Covington, and that's a pretty crappy roster. And there's only so much you can do with that, but this last year's offense was pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. Points per game, they are terrible. 17 points per game. Who wants to watch that football? Yards per game, they were 31st. Third down rate, they were 29th. Red zone defense, they were 30th. But thank God we weren't the NFL team that turned the ball over the most. But we were close to it, 22nd. So obviously seeing what the Patriots just recently went through and just knowing that they're going to need something different, I do think Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel will be able to bring that here to New England. This was my overall choice moving forward. The only reserve that I have about McDaniels and Vrabel is that they have worked together as coach and player. They have not worked together as coaches. I think that they'll be great. Obviously, we knew that Vrabel was going to have a say in the hiring process. We also know that Vrabel is going to have a say in which players he does bring to New England and pushes players out. So he wouldn't have hired this guy if he didn't see that they had the same ideas, they had the same timeline, and they want the same things for the Patriots moving forward. So you do have to keep in mind that while they have known each other since 2001, they've had a long history playing together and coaching together. They just haven't been coaches at the same time, at least not for New England. Because you have to throw it back here. 2001, Vrabel played, and McDaniels was a personal assistant. 2003, Vrabel continues to play for the Patriots, and then Josh McDaniels was a defensive assistant. And then 2005, that was the last time McDaniels really worked with Vrabel because he was upgraded to the quarterback coach. And then 2008, he was the OC and quarterback coach. So that is something to note here moving forward with the Patriots, is that you're probably looking now, okay, how is Josh McDaniels going to really help out Drake Maye, and how is he going to be the right fit for Drake Maye moving forward? Almost all of his time on the Patriots personnel, he was the OC and the quarterback's coach. I believe just 1 year he was primarily the OC. So he has worked with quarterbacks his entire time, firsthand, working with guys like Tom Brady. I mean, we're talking about the greatest quarterback of all time. But I did mention this the other day on the show, is that according to Ian Rappaport, the Patriots OC job is vacant. That was the other day, but AVP hasn't been let go. He may stay on the staff as a different role. So we may still see Alex Van Pelt in some kind of role, but as of right now, Josh McDaniels is the new offensive coordinator, and he may or may not be the new quarterback coach as well, or maybe they'll keep AVP on that role specifically. But my overall take here is this is a very safe hiring. This is a guy that knows your system. This is a guy that will bring fans back to the seats because fans know they like the offensive production that McDaniels has produced year in and year out. And I do think he would be a great pairing with Drake Maye, which is the most important thing that you have got to start thinking of moving forward, is how can Drake Maye flourish in year 2. So I'm going to ask you guys that exact same question. Are McDaniels and Maye a good fit? Go on ahead, comment it down below. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this recent hire, and do we think this is the best situation for Drake Maye moving forward? I'm going to go ahead and break down real quick here our sponsor on today's show, then we'll hop into more of this recent hire. But let me tell you guys about Game Time. This is the #1 way I get tickets to any sporting event, comedy show, maybe even a concert. If you guys are looking to see some playoff football, this is the place to go, or maybe even an NBA game before it gets into the nitty-gritty and you start to see them play in the playoffs. If you guys want to go on ahead and check out the Boston Red Sox, the Boston Celtics, the Boston Bruins, or even better, if you want to go see the New England Patriots this upcoming year with Josh McDaniels as the offensive coordinator, Game Time is the place to go. The reason why I love Game Time is super simple. I know that I'm going to get the lowest price guaranteed. I also know that I'm going to get all-in pricing up front. That way I am not paying for anything that I don't know what that fee is going to. And I love the fact that you guys are able to see the view from your seat in the app before you buy. This is a really, really cool tool, and it's super easy to use. This is the only app I use when I am looking for tickets, and you guys can too. It's super easy. All you guys have to do is just download the Game Time app, use promo code ChatSports. It's going to give you guys $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. Again, use promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. Download Game Time today, because what time is it? It is game time. When you're looking at a guy like Josh McDaniels, I think something that really provides me a lot of clarity is that McDaniels isn't going to leave for another bigger job out there. At least I don't think so. Why? Because he's already done that. It didn't really work out for McDaniels as a head coach. Obviously, he was let go from the Raiders, or pretty much flat out fired from the Raiders, when he just couldn't prove to get the job done as a head coach. However, I do think as the OC, he definitely has a lot more potential moving forward. And you look at a guy like McDaniels, he was the Patriots personnel off and on from 2001 to 2021. Then he branched off and became the head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, where he was fired because he just kind of flat out sucked. But in New England, he's a 3-time champion with Tom Brady as his quarterback and as the offensive coordinator. So we know that he's going to be a very good fit. And I do think that he's not going to try to leave us in the future for something different or something new, because he's already kind of tasted that on the outside, and it didn't really necessarily work out for him the way that he wanted to. And also, when you go back to what Vrabel had said in his press conference about what he's looking for in an OC and a DC specifically, I do think that Josh McDaniels, he fits the mold for what Vrabel is hoping to bring in on the offensive side of the football. He's hoping they'll bring in somebody that can teach him. Well, this is a guy that has 20-plus years of experience in this locker room, in this front office. He's going to be able to teach them the Patriot way, the right Patriot way, the Bill Belichick way that brought us to championships. Hopefully not try to recreate it, but just teach them the fundamentals about what it means to put on that jersey. Develop, we've seen that firsthand success with Tom Brady. I know you can have the argument, was it the chicken before the egg or the egg before the chicken? Is Tom Brady only great because he had a good OC? Is Josh McDaniels only a good OC because he had Tom Brady? Nonetheless, he's going to develop them either way. And I would much rather may develop under McDaniels and under Van Pelt and inspire by making connections. That kind of goes up there with the Patriot way. I think he's going to take his time in New England to be able to relate to the players, be able to connect with the players, and maybe even talk about the good glory days and maybe influence and inspire those Patriots to get back to that winning culture that we have known and love as fans. And I think this is also a really good opportunity for the OC, the DC, the head coach, whoever's going to come in here next for the New England Patriots, which I do think it will be a DC. I don't know if they're going to keep DeMarcus Covington. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but there's several open positions on the offense and defense, starting positions, bench depth. I think there are so many holes that need to be filled on either side of the football that McDaniels should have a very fun time on offense trying to plug and play the right key and personnel to get this team back to a winning culture. Plus, they have $130 million in cap space, and they have a top 5 NFL draft pick. There are a lot of opportunities, not just with a new OC, but allowing that OC to kind of have full reign and take over and create success for Drake Maye and Mike Vrabel this upcoming season. My final question for you guys is grade the hiring of Josh McDaniels. Type A, B, C, D, or F. A, obviously A+. Absolutely love it. Fantastic work. F, you failed. We just sucked at this whole OC search. Go on ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, go on ahead and hit that sub button for me if you guys haven't already. Obviously, breaking news. We've got you covered right here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports.